Hello. Welcome to this new video. We're going to be talking about an interesting concept that you need to know for any cybersecurity exam you're going to be taking in the near future, and that is the differences between a stateful firewall and stateless firewall. And I should say that this information is not only good for the exam, it's just good information, period, to understand the differences between the two major categories of how we use firewalls or how firewalls are categorized. And let's talk about this. Now, back in the days, everything used to be stateless, right? That was when we didn't have modern technology. Everything was just simple ACL, access control list, and you needed to manually allow connections out and connections in. It took a lot of work. So the way firewall works when they are using a stateless connection is that they forget the connection once it is analyzed, meaning that subsequent packets that are going to go through the firewall are going to be analyzed one more time against the rule sets that is created on the firewall. So it's going to be relying on packet filtering, ACLs, and the benefit of that is that they are super fast and you can still see the benefit of using ACL in certain part of your networks, and we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. Whereas stateful firewalls are smarter firewalls, and this is something that has been around for a long time, by the way, but more recent than stateful for sure. It remembers the connection because it's going to create a session table, meaning that when packets go out, when a device sends a message out, a packet, and that reply is going to come in, the firewall is going to keep track of that session. It's going to keep track of all the communication that is taking place. That's why when it comes to taking any cybersecurity test or going into cybersecurity, it's good for you to know about networking, right? Know how network works and all that kind of things because it's going to make a lot more sense for you when trying to protect the network to understand how things work. It's going to remember the connection. It's going to create a state table, and it's good for high security and is CPU intensive. So let me jump into these other windows in here so I can demonstrate or visualize what we're talking about. This is a FortiNet firewall that I'm using in one of my test networks. And as you can see here, I have my 40 view sessions. And again, this is true to any firewall, by the way. This is not unique to FortiNet. But what we're going to see here, we're going to see the source, destination, application, protocol, source port, destination, blah, blah, blah. So this is the session table that I was referring to. When any device from my test network communicates to any device outside my test network or in my test network, the firewall is going to keep track of that session and it's going to keep track of that communication. What was the originating port? What was the destination port? The destination port when it replied was that complying with um, the IP protocols, the communication protocols. It's going to keep track of all of that. And this is what's going to be working in the background. Whereas if I want to be super granular when it comes to the communication, and in this case, let me just say something here. I didn't open all these ports that you see here, right? Or applications going out. I didn't create a rule to allow DNS out or to allow HTTP out or to allow what I don't even know what else I have here out. I'm just allowing everything out, but I'm controlling what's coming in, or that's what the firewall is gonna do, controlling what's coming in to make sure that what's coming in was a response to a message that I sent out, and that's when all that is gonna the system is gonna be able to know all that by keeping track of the session tables in here. If I get a reply back from or if I get a message that pretends to be a reply coming back into my network, it's going to go through the session table, and the like the firewall is going to say, you know what, this message was not originated from within the network, therefore it's going to be rejected. Now, when it comes to access control list, this is another example where you can use it. In this case, I have a my AWS free account where I play and I do things with. And as you could see, I have an ACA rule where I'm going to be able to specify the inbound and the outbound rules or ports that I want to allow. In this case, everything is going to be denied unless explicitly allowed, and they're going to take it to the extreme because you have to allow or specify, I should say, whether you want that to be denied or allowed. You have to specify the traffic that is going outbound and the traffic that is coming inbound to go through the set of rules. So, practically speaking, let me bring this image back here. Even though I said that stateless is older than stateful, it is completely true when it comes to the technology. However, when it comes to securing your network at different layers, right, and creating different layers of security for your network, depending on what you're trying to protect, you may want to have a combination of both. In my case, and you have to also remember what is it that you're going to be protecting, right? But that's how you do it. In this case of AWS, I'm protecting the VPCs, and then I may be protecting that against potential attacks coming from the outside or attacks coming from other hosts within the same network or other networks, other VPCs. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. But there's a place for that. Don't get turned down by ACLs. ACLs do have a place in the network security, and that's something that you need to explore depending on what you are trying to protect. Now, did you find this information useful? I hope you did. If you did, please leave it on the leave a comment in the comment section. Remember to click on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next video.